Hi everyone, this is the Space Alchemist YouTube channel and my name is Bhumika HS. In today's video, I'd like to talk about a little bit of spirituality in detail, probably not associated that much with Vastu, but this is something I really felt to kind of help you guys understand because a lot of people do come to us regarding relationship issues and how to solve them through Vastu. And one of the most fundamental things that I would suggest is apart from getting remedies done, since I practice Vastu using a fundamental core concept of Vastu and spirituality, I'd like to share why or what could be the reasons why relationships don't last or what are they actually trying to reach you and are they really meant to be saved or not. The reason why I say this is when you come into spirituality, relationships of any type can be structured into three major parts, at least for what I am aware of. One can be those which are twin flame relationships. Second can be soulmate relationships, and the third one can be termed as karmic relationships. Firstly, when I talk about twin flame relationships basically mean when you come into a spiritual background, it is one soul that is split into two halves, where each half of the soul is accompanied by one particular body. Generally, we call this as the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And the whole concept of this is their soul recognition and conscious remains the same, but the energies and frequencies are so high that the soul had to split and they had to take shape into two separate bodies. Now, here what happens is because they're the same soul and they share the same intensity of life, they tend to always have this chasing and pulling experience, and most of the times twin flame experiences are told to be that of relationships, romantic relationships to be general. There are people who do claim that everybody has a twin flame relationship. There are also people who claim that there are only 144 souls that share the twin flame journey, but I'm not going to go specifying which is correct or not because I think everybody has a personal choice of interest and selection of which is right and which is wrong. But when again you come into spirituality and you understand the concept of twin flame, when you have one soul being the divine feminine and you have another soul being the divine masculine, the whole purpose is to basically elevate the conscious of earth by themselves healing first. So what happens is both the twin flame, divine feminine and the divine masculine, have intense periods of pain from which they tend to heal. Once they heal, their purpose is to make sure that the pain they have is transmuted into purpose, and each of these souls have their own purpose that is there. So like I said, most people believe that these are romantic relationships, but I've also heard people who say these are relations with your siblings, these can be relations with your parents, but there's always that one soul where you share a common personality with. And this is not something I wouldn't associate to yes or no, because if you understand Mahabharata, initially when there was a swayamvar that was held for Draupadi, what happened is Arjuna eventually got the hand and he got Draupadi home once they exchanged the garlands. Without seeing what happened, when Arjuna came in, he went to his mother Kunti to tell her that look what I got from the Swayamvar. His mother did not think that it was a woman. She Kunti actually thought it was food. So while she was offering prayers, without actually looking at Kunti and everybody, she just said, "Whatever you got, share it with them." But only after she came out of the prayer, she saw what awful things that she had done, and she had told that that Draupadi should be shared by the five brothers. It is at that point when Kunti went into a lot of deep hurt, and it was then that Draupadi said that initially in her previous lifetime, she had done a yagna or a puja or a penance when she had asked for five different traits of people. And even though the traits of people could not be put in one person, God had, when she had reincarnated, she got it as five different beings. So it was apparently the fulfillment of one of her wishes from her previous life. At this point, what happens? The whole narration was happening, and even Lord Krishna was there when he had come in. And this is the time when Krishna said it is nothing against the Dharma because all the five souls of the Pandavas, okay, are of the same soul. So that is the kind of intensity. So this is one of the best examples I would say of twin flame journey, irrespective of not being a romantic relationship, but they're all told to be the same, of the same soul family or the soul tribe. So here what happens is there is intense chemistry, there's intense passion, there's intense love, and some of the times is inexplainable recognition of another person immediately. The circumstances, the time, nothing as such can push any of them away, and they're bound to find each other whenever they are. When I come into explaining this in a relationship context, and when I mean this in romantic relationship context, the divine feminine and the divine masculine have a completely different journey. Most of the times, what happens when we interact with people, we don't really tend to understand if they're having a romantic relationship as a twin flame or a soulmate or a karmic, and we try to give them remedies to harmonize the space. And the reason why we do this is the southwest of the house basically relates with the relationships and skill building. And if anybody comes up with a Vastu consultant telling that there are issues with relationships and they want to harmonize the space by doing remedies, one of the most sorted zones that we try to see if there's any issues is in the southwest of a space. So here, what we try to suggest is either idols or remedies that can amplify and kind of calm down the any negative effects and harmonize the space in a positive manner. But very little time do people don't understand is that even if they are romantic relationship or not, they might not be the best suited people, and they might have been there just for a particular reason, or to help them learn some particular trait or character, or identify themselves better. So please do make sure that you don't take everybody into the single situation, but please do make sure you always evaluate it. But coming back into the thing, when you're talking about twin flame relationships, it's basically what happens is initially both the divine feminine and the divine masculine do not know their own power, their own strength, and their own sense of self. And most of the times it's when the divine masculine kinds of really crosses every boundary and kind of puts the divine feminine to intense sense of pain, and unable to take that, she goes and works on herself. Sometimes it's huge long periods of separation that happens and all of that. And once the divine feminine has got her core to herself and she shifted all that energy to herself and she's made more peace within herself, the divine masculine naturally gets attracted to her, and that is when the divine masculine kind of increases his frequency. So if somebody that you know is coming for consultations from a divine a twin flame energy, I would suggest you not to do anything related to Vastu, because these are souls or energies that come into the universe to raise the entire frequency of the planet with their work that they do by changing pain to purpose. Irrespective you do remedies or not, it is believed that eventually twin flames always end up with each other, and the universe works in their favor as soon as they start working on themselves. So if you do come from a spiritual background and you're aware that this is the kind of relationship, ask them to work on themselves and surrender, because this is the one of the best ways to help somebody neutralize a space. But yes, if you do sense a major shift or a blockage in the Vastu of a space, you can go about using multiple remedies that are there for the southwest to balance it out. Similarly, now let me come into helping you understand what soulmates are. At least for me, the concept of soulmates is as simple as these are the souls that you choose, where they come most of the times in a more less painful manner. They come to support you, they come to guide you, and they kind of come to complete the karma that probably you have from previous lifetimes as well, as many believe. And soulmates can be anybody, ranging from your mom, your dad, your parents, your sisters, your siblings, anybody that you have a similar relationship with and a very happy and a healthy relationship with. These can be considered your soulmates. Now, when it comes to soulmates, the triggering factors are comparatively lesser. You're more peaceful, you're more guarded. You're not more guarded, and you're more in tune with yourself. These are people that you can call as your soul tribe as well. A more soulmate relationship soul tribe, okay? And these people either come to help you in certain way, or they're connecting you with certain people, they network with you, but you generally have good experiences. And if you kind of come to a place where you see a couple probably come to you saying that you're that, or anybody in that sense, any two people having a relationship issues come to you, first check the southwest, like I said, and see if there's any issue. Otherwise, I don't generally think that this should be an issue, because these people are not somebody who push you towards change. They're generally people who support you in the process of it in a much calmer manner. What the last part that I would say is talking about is karmic relationships. This is the one of the most painful part for many people, because karmic relationships can be of any type. You can be either karmic relationship, you can have karmic relation or karmic ties with your parents, your siblings, your friends, your relatives, your office co-working spaces, anybody at all where these people actually trigger you. They trigger every insecurity of you. They have toxic attachments. They have a lot of red flagging that happens. These people really instigate the negative in you. Most of the times, if you've seen people who go into a lot of therapy and all that, if you're aware, a lot of people do complain having childhood trauma, coming from abandonment issues, coming from a lot of narcissistic abuse, coming from a lot of controlled and all of that. These are attachments or attachment styles which basically come from karmic relationships. Because either if you're dealing with a narcissist, they basically deals with lack of empathy. People with lack of empathy and who are very self-centered. These are people who build facades, who build masks, but treat people emotionally very differently within closed doors, right? So a lot of children from any context, I'm not just telling from a particular place or city, there are narcissists, and narcissists are people who are unhealed, and these are people who basically give a lot of pain to people, to other people as well. So if somebody is in a narcissistic relationship and somebody is really having issues, be it as a partner, as a child, as a friend, or anything as such, or any negative effect which is really triggering them and putting their vibrations down, this is a karmic relationship. If you're really good with spirituality and you're able to identify these patterns and you genuinely want to help a person who is in need, I would probably suggest you firstly check the vastu of the space. And if all the vastu of the space is correct and no remedy is required, that really means that the universe is trying to push the narcissistic karmic patterns away from the person who's really in need. That is why when you see, if you've seen any of my videos before, when I talk about different dashas or periods, so you have Saturn Mahadasha, Rahu Mahadasha, Ketu Mahadasha, which are intense periods where it talks about pattern, settlement of karma, pattern identification, detachment. All of these come and happen in these spaces because these are extreme vibrations that happen, and they're not always negative. People go through intense periods of life, painful periods of life during these periods, but eventually when they come out, they learn a lot. That is why you see most of the times there are a lot of relationships that you might be aware of who have been through years of marriage, say 15 years, 20 years. Everybody knew that the marriage was rocky, but they never thought of breaking up because of multiple reasons. But when it comes to a time, either if they're going through Saturn Mahadasha, Rahu or Ketu Mahadasha, or even Sadhya Sati, that is the 7 years of Saturn movement within your house, you will be able to see all these relationships tend to fall, breaking down of relationships, closure of relationships, unwanted people going away. In initially, people have a lot of pain when that happens, because they're too attached to it, and it's what happens is they build attachment patterns in general psychology, right? So if a child is very attached to the parent because it's a parent, but they don't come into an understanding that this parent is not really good for them, that it is during these phases that they actually break God, like the universe kind of breaks down so much for them that they understand the problem rather than coming from an emotional perspective. These are points when the person actually says, I can't deal with this person anymore, I'm going to walk out of the house, or I can't deal with this person anymore, I'm going to break the relationship. That is what they trigger intense emotions. All red flagging happens in these relationships. They were never meant to be long term. Even if they're long term, they're extremely painful. So these are something what I called about karmic attachments. Like I said, I wouldn't generally say this to people, but if you are on a spiritual journey and you have a hands-on experience in Vastu, always make sure you know how you play around it, because this is something that you can really explore as a subject. And since I covered about the three fundamental aspects of relationships, that is twin flame relationships, soulmate relationships, and karmic relationships, irrespective of these three, I would suggest Vastu first needs to be checked irrespective of it, if you're really that interested to see if it's affecting and you're still interested in saving a relationship. But always check the southwest zone firstly and predominantly, like I said it, because it relates to relationships and skills. It can be relationship with personal life, relationship, business, whatever it is. Try to incorporate remedies such as crystals. You can use astrological placements. There are a lot of instruments that can be kept, plant-based therapies. You have not just plant-based, you have yantra-based remedies, you have color-based remedies, material-based remedies. All of these can be incorporated as and when into your space to actually reap the benefits of the same. But like I said, most of the times when people come into consultations with me, I take Vastu in a more design perspective and probably in a little more spiritual perspective, because I really don't think that people understand that what life is all about. And it is because people come from very low vibrational spaces. But as a consultant, I do make sure that I can give them the best suggestions and remedies as possible, because as my duty, I will do it. But eventually, I think God has a upper hand and he will eventually steer the way. So anybody, whenever you come to a consultation with me or you go to anybody regarding Vastu, please do note only 25% of your life depends on Vastu. The other 75% depends on multiple other factors. all listed in a book that you can buy in my about section of the channel. It's a complete dedication of Vastu book, which deals from the fundamental concepts of Vastu till the very end. You can get complete information and details about this and purchase the book in India on pothi.com, and you can purchase it in other countries from Amazon KDP. But coming back to my topic, this is one of the most fundamental things that I really want to cover, because people really are very low vibration. Many people do not know the actual meaning of life. Many people do not know what they want out of their own life. And these intense periods or these changes are something that happens to them. To account for me, if I take my own personal journey, I actually want to share this across with a lot of you all, because I think that most of you will relate to what I say because of this story. If you've seen my previous videos, I've mentioned to most of you all that, I had a very intense period and a very negative phase between 2017 to 2021. There's a lot of things that was crumbling, and especially it started after I shifted into a new house with my family. And within 1 and 1.5 months, there was a lot of things that happened: health issues, a lot of just jealousy, a lot of there was just too many things happening at once, which was all negatively influencing us. And initially, that time, I did not know Vastu and I was not into spirituality and all. But like I said, through the time, I kind of developed all of these factors. And there was a point in 2022 when I kind of learned Vastu, and also I was into spirituality at that time. So I kept all my ego aside and I kind of incorporated a very simple remedy that was there in the west zone of my space. And for those of you who don't know, West basically deals with Shani, and Shani basically remains to karma. So I just covered up the balcony that was there with a PVC, like a sliding window that was there. I mean, an aluminium sliding window that was there, and I actually saw a lot of changes. A lot of negative things started reducing, and the minute I incorporate spirituality associated to it, I got a lot more contentment and a lot more happiness into my life, and a lot more peace and understanding. So, without kind of relating to anybody else, I think eventually everybody are going to have phases in their life. I really think the end goal of you should be that you should be able to be honest, your intention should be pure, and keep your mind like just bolted towards a particular goal, and eventually over time you'll be able to succeed. So this is basically how I would approach Vastu from a spiritual perspective, especially when talking about relationships. Like I said, even in the start, a lot of consultation people that come to us for Vastu is when a lot of relationships are falling down and they feel that they're having issues with the Vastu of the space, which is impacting it. Sometimes, like I said, it's not because of Vastu, but it can be simply because that you're destined to actually experience this for your soul to level up and grow as a person. But if you, like I said, still want to continue further, you can go check out all our details on our website to get a complete consultation of how to go about approaching this and get remedies for the same. And like I said, I approach this completely from a Vastu and a spiritual perspective. I do not incorporate astrology as of now.